Something borrowed, something blue, and now there's a lot that's new.
My husband and I are a part of a wave of young Americans who are approaching marriage differently now. We are breaking traditions.
Like a growing number of millennials, Hannah Hickoff and her husband, Jonathan Sadigian, opted to sign a prenup before marriage. But this couple decided to take it one step further and added an emotional clause to the contract, a decision she wrote about for Glamour.
How did you start that conversation, and what was both of your reaction to it?
Jonathan and I were both always open to the idea of a prenup, but not until we came up with the idea of this special emotional investment clause did we really get excited about it. I suggested that we add a special clause stating that before divorcing, we will attend at least as many couples therapy sessions as the number of years we've been together.
A lot of times people are not even sure if they want to bring up a prenup with their significant other.
It was really important to have an honest conversation about that worst case scenario. Nobody plans to get divorced. Why not have that conversation heading into marriage when you're really connected and you're really invested in the success of your relationship?
For Stephen Mack and Brian Schaefer, marriage was always the plan, but the fancy party, not so much.
What I always said is, I want to be married, I don't want to get married. I really didn't like the process.
You were talking about the more traditional weddings. The big reception.
We would, start to have a conversation about what that would look like, where that would be, how many people, and then the numbers would just creep up, and as that happened, he would just deflate.
I would just shut down. I said, Brian, what's my favorite thing in the world? It's a small dinner with friends.
Let's do a bunch of those. And that was the first time that I saw him excited about a wedding, the first time that all of a sudden there was energy around the idea of how we would do this. Could we really pull that off?
They did pull it off. After an intimate ceremony with their immediate family in upstate New York, they kicked off what they called their deconstructed reception. 12 small dinners at some of their favorite restaurants in various cities that were meaningful to them. Guests selected a reception from a list of locations and dates.
What was that like to see friends from different parts of each of your separate lives coming together at the same dinner?
It was, I think, one of the highlights.
Yeah.
I mean, it was people that we wouldn't necessarily have thought to put together ended up next to each other. It ended up being us sharing with everybody in the room what they meant to us. And it really kind of flipped the script on the reception, where normally it's the family members or friends who are standing up to share speeches about us.
And we made sure during the dinners that it didn't feel like it was just dinner. We wore our wedding suits to every dinner. And then at the very end, we read a very small portion of our vows.
And they celebrated that commitment at all 12 dinners.
It was, not just this flash in the pan moment, but really this milestone that we were able to mark over, almost the course of an entire year.
Like Hannah and Jonathan, these newlyweds came up with new traditions that worked for them.
We are adapting an age-old institution to fit our current lifestyles and our values. We are, getting married on our own terms.
Cheers to that.